he's not very intelligent and undoubtedly remains damaged by the early death of his mother, Diana. And he very foolishly blames the media for her, in his words, which is complete nonsense. But I think he loved the adulation. He loved it when he was being praised, especially when he was a soldier. But then he became criticized, firstly because he became drunk in public.
Tom, do you think Harry and Meghan are fast learning what they signed away when they took this Netflix big moolah? And I would say they signed away their credibility and their dignity.
Well, that's our view, but it's not theirs. They need the money, and they need it now more than ever because they've got no other source of income. So I think they're just stuck with the devil now. They're tied to Netflix, they're tied to their book, and all the criticism they're going to take means nothing because that's the only way they can earn their money.
No, I choose people who don't want to be written about on the whole, whose lives are shrouded in mystery, and they want to hide their secrets, and I just love digging away to find out what they don't want us to know.
Had you hoped your children, Archie and Lilibet, would have had that you think they won't be able to now with this decision?
Well, for a start, the only time that I've come back to the UK is sadly for funerals or court cases.
Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is marking her daughter Lilibet's 4th birthday by sharing some personal photographs. A rare sighting of a little girl seen in this picture with her father, Prince Harry, and now her mom. The child's face is partially covered as the royal couple is known to fiercely guard the privacy of their 2 children. On Instagram, Meghan wrote, "Happy birthday to our beautiful girl. 4 years ago today, she came into our lives, and the day is brighter and better because of it."
Oh, this is juicy. So, here's the tea everyone's whispering about. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle really thought they could keep their kids wrapped up in a private little bubble, far from the world's eyes. But guess what? That carefully built wall might be cracking, and the thing they tried hardest to protect might just blow everything apart. Tom Bower, yes, that Tom Bower, has basically dropped a royal bombshell. He's hinting at some seriously explosive claims about Archie and Lilibet. And let me tell you, the moment those words hit the air, it was like lighting a fuse. Questions about bloodline, whispers about legitimacy, silent palaces, and loud demands for DNA tests. It's all swirling like a storm that's about to hit the palace gates. This isn't just a bit of cheeky chatter over afternoon tea. No, no, no. This is full-blown royal drama, the kind that sends shockwaves through Buckingham Palace and beyond. So stick with me till the end because this scandal, it's the kind of royal storm you'll want front row seats to.
Well, of course, that has always been her motive. She is money obsessed and always has been. And that is why she married Prince Harry. A great surprise and disappointment was to discover that Prince Harry had very little money. She imagined he'd be worth hundreds of millions, if not billions. And she's having to make up for it now.
I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point. And the things that they're going to miss is, well, everything. You know, I love my country. I always have done, despite what some people in that country have done. So, you know, I miss the UK. I miss parts of the UK. Of course I do.
That the conversation, I'm told and I believe, was very early on in their relationship when Harry is bowled over by Meghan, is desperately in love, and already is talking about marriage. But long before their engagement is even announced, let alone they're married and she's pregnant. And he's sitting in Clarence House with then Prince Charles and Camilla. And Camilla just laughingly says, well, any child you'll have will probably have brown skin and ginger hair.
The Queen and the Duke.
Yes, and we just bumped into the Duke as we were walking by, which was so nice. So it'll be a nice moment to introduce the baby to more family, and my mom's with us as well. So it's been a really, here we go.
another great grand.
And just when people thought Harry and Meghan might have a quiet moment, bam, they're back in the spotlight. Only this time it's not about palace feuds, Netflix deals, or those controversial book deals. Nope, this one's way more personal. It's about their kids. Tom Bower has basically set the royal rumor mill on fire. He's questioning whether Archie and Lilibet are even their biological children. I know, right? And before you think this is some random online gossip, oh no, these claims are backed with years of digging, weird patterns, timelines that never quite matched up, and those little inconsistencies that have always made people go, The couple who once swore they'd protect their children from the chaos of royal life are now watching those same children become the heart of their biggest crisis yet. Imagine the irony. The very shield they tried to hold up might be the sword turning against them.
That's why I think, I think Tina is a great journalist, and perhaps she has inside information. I don't see how the Sussexes can give up both the Netflix and the book deal. They won't be living in a Montecito cottage. They're more likely living somewhere in downtown LA, in a little hovel. That's their problem. They're stuck now. But, you know, the truth is about them. Then he wore a Nazi uniform at a party. Then he was wearing absolutely nothing in the nude at the party in Las Vegas. And he couldn't cope with the criticism because, in his view, he is a target. And it didn't help his telephones were hacked by News International Rupert Murdoch's group here in London.
And honestly, let's just say it how it is. This isn't about silly royal rules or family spats anymore. The question being whispered in drawing rooms, podcasts, and tabloids is chillingly simple. Who exactly are Archie and Lilibet? For any regular family, that would be offensive. But for Harry and Meghan, a couple who've turned every family moment into a carefully crafted, branded narrative, the suspicion cuts deep. Bauer's claim isn't just about surrogacy as a private choice, it's about something bigger, maybe something they never wanted anyone to know. And when it comes to the royal family, legitimacy isn't some side detail. It's the crown jewel of the entire system. If what Bauer's hinting at is true, this isn't just another scandal, it's a direct hit at the foundation of the monarchy itself. And poor Harry, remember when the world loved his cheeky grin and playful charm? Now he's tabloid bait, mocked, memed, labeled as either naive or complicit. Reports from Montecito are painting a messy, almost tragic picture. Harry pacing up and down, snapping at staff, glued to every headline like a man possessed. The irony, the same man who championed mental health now seems to be falling apart under the weight of whispered secrets. It's heartbreaking. And honestly, the world can feel the tension. Meghan, on the other hand, seems to be playing a completely different game. No tears, no public meltdown, just cold strategy. Lawyers on speed dial, legal letters flying, trying to shut it all down. But here's the kicker. The more she clamps down, the louder it gets. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire. People are connecting dots, replaying those oddly staged pregnancy photos, the fuzzy timelines, the lack of the usual birth announcements. Everything's suddenly looking too perfect, too polished. And when things look staged, everyone starts to wonder, what are they hiding? Critics say the couple had every chance to clear this up years ago. Instead, they built a fortress of secrecy. And now that wall is cracking right in front of the world. Whether Bauer's claims are true or not almost doesn't matter anymore. Their silence is screaming louder than any statement ever could.
Choose people who don't want to be written about on the whole, whose lives are shrouded in mystery, and they want to hide their secrets. And I just love digging away to find out what they don't want us to know. I wrote 4 years ago a book about Prince Charles, and it was a story about how he had rehabilitated himself after Diana's death, and how Camilla also had to be rehabilitated. And it was a #1. It was a fascinating story. So when Meghan came along into the scene, I just thought, this is fascinating. How is this going to play out? To tell the truth, I spoke to very few friends of Meghan because she put a fatwa on anyone talking to me who she could. So I sent off dozens and dozens of emails to her friends, and most of them didn't even reply. And obviously I spoke to her father, who loves her still very much, and said, you know, in the end, whatever she is, she's still my daughter. You can't beat the real story. I mean, that's the excitement of writing these sort of books, that in the end, nothing beats the truth, the real fact.
And let's not forget one of the biggest red flags people can't stop talking about, Archie and Lilibet's distance from the rest of the royal family. Think about it. William and Kate's kids are practically royal mascots. Endless family photos with Charles, Camilla, even the late Queen. Warm hugs, family outings, smiles on balconies. But Harry and Meghan's kids, practically invisible. No cozy moments with senior royals, no public bonding, nothing. People are asking, is this a coincidence? Or is the palace deliberately keeping its distance? And honestly, the silence in those photo albums speaks volumes. If surrogacy was used, okay, that's a private choice. But if outside donors were involved and the biological ties aren't what the Sussexes have claimed, then we're talking about a royal earthquake. The monarchy runs on one thing: bloodline. If that foundation shakes, the entire crown trembles. And Tom Bower? He's not just any gossip writer. His track record of exposing royal secrets is the stuff of legend, and disturbingly, he's often been right. So when someone like him lights this match, people don't look away. They lean in. This is the kind of storm that could erase Harry and Meghan's place in royal history altogether.
That's our view, but it's not theirs. They need the money, and they need it now more than ever because they've got no other source of income. So I think they're just stuck with the devil now. They're tied to Netflix, they're tied to their book, and all the criticism they're going to take means nothing because that's the only way they can earn their money.
But here's where it really spirals. Silence. No statements, no denials, no DNA tests, not even a hint of trying to clear the air. Just silence. And silence, as we all know, doesn't calm the storm. It fuels it. People are asking, if there's nothing to hide, why not prove it?
You have extraordinary reporting in your book on what this was likely based on and how it doesn't match up to what Meghan said. Here's the clip, Sot 6, from the Oprah interview.
And the noise is deafening now. What started as whispers is now a trending global debate. From hashtags to primetime TV, everyone's asking the same thing. If they're telling the truth, why not just take the test and end it? Their refusal is fanning the flames higher than ever.
Well, of course, that was brilliant of you to bring that clip up because the body language just showed her discomfort as she dug deeper into her own hole. I mean, the truth is this, that there are two truths. The first truth is that the conversation, I'm told and I believe, was very early on in their relationship when Harry is bowled over by Meghan, is desperately in love, and already is talking about...
And here's the part that's absolutely brutal for Harry. Fatherhood isn't just a part of his story, it is his story. He's repeated over and over again in interviews, from Oprah to the docuseries, how being a dad grounded him, saved him, gave him purpose. But now, critics are twisting the knife. What if the children he's built his redemption arc around aren't even biologically his? That's the kind of question that doesn't just bruise an image, it breaks a man. This is Prince Harry we're talking about, the boy who walked behind Diana's coffin, forever etched in the world's heart as a symbol of strength. And now, he's being painted as either a naive pawn in Meghan's grand plan or a co-conspirator in a royal cover-up. Neither version makes him look good. One makes him seem weak, the other, dishonest, and worst of all, powerless.
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I think she would be sad. I think she'd be looking at it long term to know that there are certain things that we need to go through to be able to heal the relationship. I have felt the presence of my mum more so in the last 2 years than I have in the last 30.
And oh my gosh, the vibe inside that Montecito mansion? Grim, like palpably tense. People close to them say Harry's completely consumed by this mess. He's not just glancing at headlines, he's obsessing. Like actually glued to gossip columns, dissecting YouTube videos frame by frame, replaying old clips and scrutinizing timelines from Meghan's pregnancies like a man trying to solve some impossible puzzle. Every allegation Tom Bower has ever thrown out, Harry's going through them like he's on some desperate hunt for control. But the more he searches, the more unhinged it seems he's becoming. Friends whisper that he's restless, pacing around like a storm in a hoodie, snapping at people, losing sleep. He's ranting at staff, muttering about conspiracies, and honestly, it's like watching someone unravel thread by thread. And here's the ultimate irony critics can't stop pointing out. Harry was the guy who branded himself as the mental health prince. He literally stood on global stages telling others to get help, to breathe, to heal, but now he's the one trapped in his own spiral, unable to use any of that advice on himself.
Time being, it's impossible for me to take my family back to the UK. Safely.
You're obviously very deeply affected by this. What memories, experiences had you hoped your children, Archie and Lilibet, would have had that you think they won't be able to now with this decision?
Meanwhile, Meghan's over there playing chess, not checkers, cold, calculated, strategic. She's reportedly on the phone with lawyers like it's a daily routine, drafting up cease and desist letters, threatening anyone who even whispers this story. But every single legal threat she throws out, it's doing the opposite. People are saying, if there's really nothing to hide, why go to such extremes? And honestly, that's a fair question. Instead of smothering the flames, she's turning it into a bonfire that the entire world can see. And then, the palace. Oh, the palace. Their silence is colder than a Windsor winter. No statements from Charles, no smiling photos of the grandkids, not even the standard "Happy Birthday Archie" posts the palace does for other royal kids. It's radio silence. Compare that to the warmth and visibility around William and Kate's children. The contrast is stunning. Observers are side-eyeing hard. Are they keeping their distance because they know something, or because they've suspected it all along? And here's where things get really interesting. There's a theory floating around, and it's spreading like wildfire. What if this distance isn't about punishment at all, but protection? Imagine the palace quietly keeping Harry and Meghan's kids at arm's length, not because they're angry, but because they've been bracing for this kind of scandal all along. A silent buffer, a shield. If that's the case, then what we're looking at isn't just tabloid drama. It's a royal crisis management operation in plain sight. If the monarchy itself has been harboring doubts about Archie and Lilibet's legitimacy, that's not gossip anymore. That's a constitutional crisis waiting to explode. And now it's no longer just curious chatter. The suspicion has gone mainstream. It's on every news site, from tabloids to respected journalists, and even longtime royal supporters are starting to ask the same piercing question. Will Harry and Meghan agree to a DNA test? I mean, can you believe it's reached this point? When every chance at transparency has been avoided or buried under legal threats, the public is going, okay then, what else is left? And that's what makes this so damaging. They had countless opportunities to shut this down. Medical records, clearer timelines, honest answers, but instead, silence. Vague statements, legal shields, and that silence? It's no longer seen as dignified. It's seen as guilt. And honestly, that's the saddest twist in this whole messy saga. The damage might already be carved into history. Harry, the prince once celebrated as the cheeky rebel who stood up to the crown, now looks like a man unraveling before our eyes. Friends from his army days, the ones who stood shoulder to shoulder with him, have apparently backed away. Sources say he's unpredictable, snapping one moment and going eerily silent the next. The whispers are cruel that he's lost himself, not just the royal title, not just the image. Himself and fatherhood, the one thing he clung to as his redemption arc, is being picked apart in the harshest public spotlight imaginable. For a man who built his second chapter around being a dad, that's devastating. Meghan, though, she's sticking to her usual playbook: control, deflection, more legal letters flying out faster than royal invitations, threatening outlets, pressuring networks. But here's the uncomfortable truth everyone's whispering. Legal letters don't erase moral questions. In fact, they make critics louder. People remember the glossy Netflix docuseries, perfectly filmed, every angle curated. They remember the soft-focus Instagram posts, the polished speeches about breaking generational pain. So when the couple who preach transparency suddenly turns into Fort Knox about something as fundamental as their kids, the hypocrisy practically screams. Meanwhile, the royal family remains stone silent. Not one senior royal has stepped in to defend them. No subtle gestures of unity. Nothing. It's like the palace has slowly, quietly stepped back, letting them face the storm alone. Insiders whisper that Charles has even been advised to stay away because even the smallest show of support could blow this into a national scandal if the rumors ever prove true. That silence isn't neutral. It's calculated. Behind those palace walls, contingency talks are reportedly buzzing. Legal teams, advisors, discussions about what this means for the line of succession if the worst were ever confirmed. No statements, no answers, but the fact those conversations are even happening, it shows just how deep this runs. Is Harry a victim in Meghan's grand plan, or a co-conspirator in a scandal that could rewrite royal history? And the question echoing through the palace halls and social media feeds alike, who really are Archie and Lilibet? This isn't fading anytime soon. It'll haunt the monarchy until the truth comes out.